When we think about the Pope, most of us picture the Vatican, the impressive architecture of St. Peter's Basilica, and the sacred atmosphere of Rome. But away from the busy streets of Rome, hidden among peaceful hills and overlooking the calm waters of Lake Albano, there's a special place that holds deep meaning for the Catholic Church: Castel Gandolfo. For centuries, this charming palace, located about 25 kilometers southeast of Rome, served as a special retreat for the popes. It wasn't only a place to relax. The popes prayed there, made important decisions, and reflected deeply. Surrounded by stunning gardens, quiet chapels, and gentle pathways, Castel Gandolfo was a sanctuary where spiritual life blossomed. Interestingly, Pope Francis broke with tradition. He decided not to use Castel Gandolfo for himself, instead opening its doors to visitors, transforming it into a museum. This choice symbolized a new way of thinking about papal life, simpler, more open to the public. But in May of 2025, something intriguing happened. Pope Leo visited Castel Gandolfo, capturing the attention and curiosity of Catholics worldwide. Could this be a hint that he might bring back some beloved traditions? Might the peaceful hills around Castel Gandolfo once again become a spiritual home for the Church? Although Pope Leo hasn't announced anything yet, here are 5 historic traditions from Castel Gandolfo's rich past that he could decide to revive. Each of these traditions carries deep symbolism and offers an intriguing glimpse into what might lie ahead for the Catholic Church. Number 5. Bringing back the summer papal residence. For generations, Castel Gandolfo served as the summer home for popes looking to escape Rome's crowded streets and scorching heat. This tradition began in the 1600s when Pope Urban VIII decided to establish a peaceful retreat overlooking Lake Albano. Since then, 15 popes have stayed here, each leaving their unique mark on this serene place. One notable example is Pope Pius XII, who spent much of World War II at Castel Gandolfo. During this dark period, he quietly provided shelter to refugees, including Jewish families escaping persecution. Yet, Castel Gandolfo wasn't only about rest or safety. It became a spiritual workshop, a quiet refuge for prayer, theological reflection, and important writing. Pope Paul VI famously wrote significant encyclicals there, shaping church teachings that still guide millions today. Pope John Paul II regularly stayed there to recharge between his global journeys, and Pope Benedict XVI once said it was a special place where God's voice seemed particularly clear. But then came Pope Francis, who, in a personal move toward simplicity, chose not to use Castel Gandolfo at all. Instead, he opened the doors wide, transforming the once private papal residence into a public museum. For years, the halls of Castel Gandolfo stood quietly, symbolizing a new chapter and a different style of papacy. But Pope Leo's recent visit to Castel Gandolfo, where he met with representatives from the Borgo Laudato Si ecological project, wasn't just symbolic. It hinted at something deeper: his openness to reconnect with the spiritual legacy of this historic site. Number 4. Reviving spiritual retreats and papal quietness. Besides being a summer home, Castel Gandolfo has historically served as an essential retreat space for popes and their guests. Although not a monastery, its tranquil gardens, peaceful chapels, and quiet pathways provided an ideal setting for prayer, meaningful theological conversations, and personal spiritual renewal. Over centuries, many important church reflections and conversions quietly happened within these secluded grounds. Pope Leo, known for his deep devotion to silent prayer and Lectio Divina, could transform Castel Gandolfo into a gathering place for cardinals, bishops, theologians, and other church leaders. Rather than hosting large conferences or formal debates, these retreats would focus on quiet reflection, prayer, fasting, and careful listening to God's voice. Important church topics like reforming church structures, engaging young people in the faith, protecting the environment, or exploring the role of women in church life could be addressed in a completely different way. Instead of publishing lengthy documents or holding formal discussions, leaders would gather quietly to reflect on Scripture, engage in meaningful conversations, and listen carefully to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. This approach isn't entirely new. Pope John XXIII once gathered seminarians for retreats at Castel Gandolfo. Pope John Paul II brought bishops together there from areas affected by war, allowing them space to pray for peace in the serene gardens. Pope Benedict XVI found peace there as he prepared his homilies and teachings. Given Pope Leo's emphasis on prayer-driven leadership, he seems uniquely suited to reviving this tradition. Castel Gandolfo might again become a special place where church leaders learn how to better discern God's will for their people. Number 3. Restoring informal garden gatherings and personal papal meetings. Unlike the grand ceremonies and formal atmosphere of the Vatican, Castel Gandolfo historically allowed popes to meet pilgrims in a simple, personal, and informal way. There were no barricades, massive screens, or huge crowds separating the pope from visitors. Instead, popes walked freely in the gardens, greeting pilgrims warmly, sharing friendly words, and spending genuine moments connecting face to face. Pope John Paul II famously held many of his summer Wednesday audiences here, creating unforgettable memories for thousands who encountered him personally. Instead of the huge crowds in St. Peter's Square, popes at Castel Gandolfo would often speak from a small balcony overlooking a courtyard filled with only a modest gathering of visitors. Sometimes, popes even invited families into the beautiful gardens, chatting casually, sharing stories, and laughing with the children who played nearby. These meetings weren't scripted or formal. They were sincere, spontaneous moments that created lasting memories. In today's world, where most encounters with the Pope happen from behind screens or at carefully organized events, these personal interactions feel particularly precious. People crave genuine connection, and Pope Leo, known for his friendly, open approach, could easily revive this heartwarming tradition. Even hosting just a few intimate gatherings each year, small audiences in the garden, sharing tea with religious visitors, or informal walks with young people would clearly demonstrate that the Pope is approachable, compassionate, and truly present among the faithful. Such simple but powerful moments would speak directly to the hearts of Catholics everywhere, offering personal renewal and strengthening the Church from within. Number 2. Bringing back outdoor masses and garden processions. The liturgical traditions at Castel Gandolfo once flourished vibrantly. From quiet private masses to lively outdoor processions celebrating Marian feast days, these beautiful gardens were often filled with sacred songs and the sweet scent of incense drifting through the air. Outdoor masses during celebrations like the Feast of the Assumption, Corpus Christi, or the Transfiguration once filled Castel Gandolfo with beauty and reverence, creating an intimate bond between nature and its creator. Amid peaceful olive trees and singing birds, worship took on a deeply moving, yet down-to-earth quality. Pope Leo, whose early actions highlighted the ecological teachings of Laudato Si and a harmonious relationship with nature, is ideally placed to revive these outdoor celebrations. Far from being mere novelty, such gatherings remind the faithful of a timeless truth. God reveals himself through his creation, and nature itself sings his praise. Imagine attending a serene sunrise mass on the feast day of St. Francis, or participating in evening Eucharistic adoration under the quiet glow of stars. These powerful experiences could profoundly touch hearts, especially in a world often distant from nature and spirituality. By embracing these liturgies, the Church would rediscover an ancient theology, celebrating sacred moments not only inside church walls, but directly beneath the vast heavens. Number 1. Welcoming pilgrims, artists, and the marginalized. One of Castel Gandolfo's most treasured traditions has always been its openness to visitors from every walk of life, not just priests, bishops, or religious leaders, but ordinary people too. Farmers, poets, musicians, children, and especially those living on the margins of society. Pope Pius XI, for instance, warmly welcomed astronomers to stay and share their insights in this special place. Pope Paul VI warmly welcomed famous Italian writers to Castel Gandolfo. Pope John Paul II compassionately invited people who had lived through the horrors of war, providing comfort and hope. Pope Benedict XVI gently guided seminarians dealing with uncertainty and doubt. These meaningful encounters weren't simply for publicity, they represented a genuine desire by the popes to reach beyond church institutions and truly connect with everyday human experiences. Pope Leo has already shown a similar heartfelt approach to his papacy. Should he decide to reopen Castel Gandolfo to visitors, this historic residence could once again become a vibrant meeting place. It might turn into a spiritual home where joy is shared openly, where wounds can heal, and where the church feels more like a loving family. Through music, art, poetry, and storytelling, Pope Leo could transform this peaceful retreat into a powerful center of evangelization, not with complicated theological arguments, but through the beauty of personal connection, genuine warmth, and simple presence. Pope Leo's recent visit may have been short, but its meaning went deep. Perhaps, in the peaceful stillness of Castel Gandolfo, he felt the presence of countless saints, leaders, and faithful people before him, those who used this special place not to hide from the world, but to understand it better and engage with it more deeply than ever. At a time when the Catholic Church faces a delicate balance, holding tightly to its ancient teachings, while addressing modern challenges, the renewal of Castel Gandolfo's traditions could symbolize something deeply meaningful. It wouldn't just be about reclaiming an old villa or returning to a familiar landscape. It would represent the renewal of the heart and soul of the papacy itself. Today's world is filled with noise, busyness, and an endless cycle of distractions. In such a climate, the return to the simplicity, silence, and peacefulness of Castel Gandolfo could provide a powerful message of spiritual clarity to Catholics around the globe. It would show a papacy that doesn't shy away from the modern world's demands, but instead meets them with wisdom gained through quiet reflection and prayerful discernment. In a church that sometimes feels overwhelmed by controversies, divisions, and rapid cultural changes, Castel Gandolfo could stand as a beacon of renewal and unity. It would be more than just a historical curiosity, it would be a living witness to the power of tradition when integrated thoughtfully into contemporary life. Pope Leo's brief visit might be the first step towards something greater, something that resonates deeply with many Catholics today. Imagine pilgrims arriving again at this beautiful place, seeking and finding moments of connection, rest, and spiritual renewal. Imagine theologians, cardinals, artists, and everyday believers coming together in mutual respect, dialogue, and genuine friendship. Castel Gandolfo could become more than simply a place on a map. It could emerge once again as a spiritual crossroads, a place where nature and faith meet, where human creativity and divine inspiration blend effortlessly, and where people from all walks of life can reconnect with the heart of their faith. But perhaps most profoundly, it could mark a new chapter in how the Pope engages with both the Church and the world. Rather than remaining distant, locked behind towering walls, the papacy would symbolize approachability and openness, a gentle invitation for all to experience the warmth, compassion, and accessibility of their spiritual shepherd. Will Pope Leo ultimately choose to revive these meaningful traditions at Castel Gandolfo? Only time can truly answer that question. But one thing is clear: the potential is already there, waiting patiently. The seeds of renewal have been planted, and in the fertile soil of history and tradition, they now lie quietly, ready to grow again. Now that we've explored these rich and meaningful traditions of Castel Gandolfo, it's your turn to share your thoughts. Which of these traditions spoke most clearly to you? Maybe it was the revival of the quiet, informal garden gatherings, moments of personal connection that make the Pope feel approachable and close. Or perhaps it was the powerful image of outdoor masses held beneath the open sky, uniting faith and nature in a deeply moving way. Was it the idea of spiritual retreats, where leaders of the Church come together quietly, without fanfare, to reflect on difficult issues through prayer and discernment? Or maybe you're especially drawn to the possibility of reopening Castel Gandolfo as the official papal summer residence, marking a symbolic return to the traditions cherished by generations of Catholics before us. Or perhaps what resonates most with you is the beautiful tradition of welcoming artists, pilgrims, and those often overlooked, the marginalized and forgotten, into a sacred space where their voices, creativity, and experiences are deeply valued. Imagine how each of these traditions might help renew and strengthen not just the papacy, but the entire Catholic Church, giving fresh hope and spiritual vitality to millions of faithful around the world. We genuinely want to hear from you. Which of these traditions would you personally love to see Pope Leo bring back into the life of the Church? Please take a moment to leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Your voice matters greatly because these traditions aren't just relics of the past, they are living possibilities that could shape the future of our shared faith. And if you've enjoyed this exploration into the heart of Catholic tradition, we warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you become part of a community dedicated to discovering, understanding, and celebrating the living heart of the Catholic faith. You'll join us on journeys through history, spirituality, and the stories that bring us closer to the timeless truths of our faith. So please, click subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's continue exploring together, diving deeply into the beauty, history, and spiritual richness of the Catholic tradition. We can't wait to see you again in our next video. Until then, thank you for watching.